Hey New Zealand, have you seen this? The Therapeutic Products Bill? If you have heard that this bill has anything to do with your health, that's the biggest piece of disinformation I have fucking heard. In the last few years, I've been discriminated against because of my choices with my body. I have been shunned from society. A year ago, I wasn't allowed to go into the library or even a cafe on a rainy morning in a different city with my son when we needed to recharge our cell phone and ourselves. I wasn't allowed in. I've been called a conspiracy theorist, and recently the government has likened that to being a terrorist.
Or family member could be planning a terror attack. And so it could be the COVID measures that the government took, or it could be other policies that are interpreted as infringing on rights. And it's what I sometimes describe as a kind of hot mess of ideologies and beliefs fueled by conspiracy theories.
Because after all,
I am a pirate.
Anybody out there who still believes that this dangerous duo, the government, teamed with Big Pharma, has your best interests in mind? Here's the gist of the bill. You know how most natural foods that we eat, let's say garlic, turmeric, onion, rosemary, thyme, oregano, tomatoes, almonds, eggplant, coconut. Most whole foods have healing qualities in them. They have medicinal qualities. We all know that the healthiest way to eat is whole, organic food that comes straight from the earth. That was our original medicine. This bill proposes to classify these foods as medicine so that they can be regulated, so we can be protected from these foods that have been around for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years, evolving with humanity. And that's what this bill proposes to do. To classify foods that have medicinal qualities as medicine so that they can be regulated. This is for our safety, keep in mind. Okay, now get this part. So if Big Pharma mimicked a healing compound in, say, rosemary, and has used that compound in a medicine, this bill proposes that we then ban rosemary, for example, so that, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time coming up with the reason behind this besides maybe profit for Big Pharma. I mean, what else the fuck could it be? Okay, no, wait a minute. It gets fucking worse. It gets worse. So this is the third time that this bill has been pushed to be passed, or at least a version of this bill. Back in 2016, this bill came through the line and people opposed it. But at that time, the Ministry of Health here in New Zealand created a list of over 3,000 synthetic and chemical additives that could be added to food, 4 of which are banned in the US and in Sweden and 2 other countries I can't remember right now. Those 3,000 synthetic and chemical additives can be surreptitiously added to our food and labeled as natural flavors. Are you fucking kidding me? This bill is not gonna touch that. This bill, oh no, it's cool. We'll just leave that. That list that was made in 2016, we're cool with those chemicals. Seriously, if this bill had anything to do with our health, it would be a lot cheaper. It would be a lot more straightforward to just subsidize the farmers in New Zealand, every single one of them, to become organic. We can just ban pesticides altogether. Be a lot easier. Make a lot more sense. Because who do you think is gonna pay for this fucking mess? It's already fucking expensive to eat healthy and have natural supplements here in New Zealand. And of course, guess what else? Guess what else they're proposing? Our freedom of speech, our ability to tell our friends, hey, when my kid was like 7 months old, he had this really bad earache and his face was bright red. He was screaming, his face was red and he was feverish. It was scary. He couldn't tell me what was wrong. I took him to the doctor. Very cool thing. The doctor diagnosed the earache, but then they wanted to put him on antibiotics. Well, he was 7 months old. I didn't want to put him on antibiotics. The antibiotics just in case. I'm a good mom. But before I did that, I went home and I researched it. Now, it turns out that if you saute garlic in olive oil for a really long time at a low heat, and then you take out the garlic, I dropped that in my son's ear, and within 1 hour, the red face was gone, the fever was down, and he was my happy little suckling baby again. As compared to 1 week of antibiotics, which fucks up your whole system. We already all know that! But with this bill, I won't be able to share that information with you. I will get a heavy fine, but we're not allowed to share that information anymore. I'm sorry, but this is really beginning to feel like a modern day witch hunt. Like back in the 1400s through the 1600s, you know, the Dark Ages, where the combination of church and state totally hunted down women, especially women, but also men. They were called witches. Witches did not worship the devil. They were herbalists and naturalists. They were carrying thousands of years of herbal information, medicinal lore. And the church/state hunted them down for hundreds of years and burned them at the stake. And then put in church-trained physicians who started doing things like bleeding people. And thus was born our modern healthcare system. Now, don't get me wrong. I am so thankful for the modern healthcare system in so many ways, but staying healthy, supporting health is not one of them. We all know that doctors get like out of years of training, they get like an hour class on nutrition. You've eaten food in the hospital. They obviously don't know the connection. They're real good at fixing bones. But we know that the healthcare system and misdiagnosis and giving people the wrong medicine, it usually comes down to the medicine, is one of the third biggest killers in the developed world. This feels like a witch hunt to me, except now the church is the worship of money and power. And if this bill passes, all of the people that are interested in our health and supporting our health will be targeted. They already have been. Now, I've been called a conspiracy theorist, and maybe I am, but it seems awfully fucking weird that the government, our healthcare system, and our mainstream media have been erasing and basically covering up the tens of thousands of instances where the mRNA inoculation has been in close proximity with serious illness and death. All of these cases of people suffering have been ignored, but yet now this bill wants to protect us from whole natural foods and supplements. I don't know, that just seems a little fucking fishy if you ask me.
COVID vaccine injury. It is real. It is real. We have a citizens database. It's a volunteer initiative with mostly mandated out doctors and nurses reporting adverse reactions. We have 5,000 serious adverse reactions in our database. another 3,000 partly processed that we need more data on. We are the tip of the iceberg. We're just a cross-section of what is happening. We have paralysis, heart attacks, heart inflammation, strokes, Guillain-Barré syndrome, autoimmune disease, you name it, shingles, Bell's palsy. I could go on and on. In the New Zealand MedSafe database, which is the official government database, where the government themselves acknowledge they capture no more than 5% of adverse reactions, we currently have 52,000 reactions reported. We also have 562 cases of myocarditis.
If you have not seen this with your own eyes, you have not been looking. I dare ya to look. I'm not telling you this to make you feel scared. I'm telling you this because you need to act. We need to act. And we need to make sure that this bill doesn't fucking crop up again because it's ridiculous. I'll put all the relevant links underneath the video. Ha!
No!
My child needs to eat now and I need to go. This is Pirate Girl signing out. New Earth Rising. New Earth Rising.